I always swore I'd never go on the mines because I see my dad and my granddad, and in them days the miners only usually last till they're 50, 55, you know, big arms, big shoulders, skinny wee legs, because they stand and shovel all day. And there was no safety gear they wore in them days, no dust masks, like you couldn't see your mate on the other side of the box for the coal dust. And you shovelled that every day. It was only for 6 hours a day.
That's enough, though.
Yes, that's right. Well, that come from the health department in them days, because you lose so much sweat and you dehydrate and then you hydrate and you go back into it. Yeah. And I used to hate sports day because I had a really good friend. He's passed away now, but he used to bring a whistle on a Friday for sports day.
Yeah.
And I used to say, get that whistle, and I got rid of the whistle. And the next tour, the whole crew had a whistle. And I was in the
just
front.
Just to piss you off even
and they
more.
all go, sports day, and they all whistle.
Welcome to the Beers with a Miner podcast. My name is Mad Mumzie, and I've been driving the huge dump trucks in Australian open cut mines for over 10 years now. I wish I had $1 for everyone who said to me, how does a little thing like you drive those big trucks? Oh, you must be rich. How do I get a job doing that? My mining friends are asked these questions all the time too. This is what started the Mad Mumzie journey to share stories and tips from living a mining lifestyle and to let others know what it's really like. Tune in each episode as I sit down for a relaxed chat, usually over a few beers, with a fellow miner. Women and blokes with various experience, roles and opinions share their lessons and stories with you. Not everyone is cut out to be a miner, but why not? What does it take to thrive and survive in this industry? Now, let's dig in. Get it? Dig? Mining? Oh, crack me up. Hello and welcome to episode 63. In this episode, I sit down with Buck. He is a deputy underground here in central Queensland, and you first met him in episode 58 when we spoke about earthquakes and how they might affect mining, especially underground mining. At that time, you may remember, he was heading up to the Cape on holidays with his lovely wife. So finally, when he got back, we caught up and I went to his beautiful home on the beach, and I actually had with me an ABC radio reporter from Sydney. Catherine contacted me about coming on their podcast, Background Briefing, to share my thoughts on mine safety. And I said, well, I've already done that once with the ABC. You can just listen to that if you want. And she said, no, it's because of that I thought that we might be able to do a collaboration. So anyway, this was just after the Denmark TV people, so I was kind of freaking out a bit, but in a good way. So she flew up here to Mackay here in central Queensland, and we met for a cuppa at Moss on Wood, and she interviewed me with a big fluffy microphone and everything, and I was so excited, so cool, professional. And then we headed down to Buck's place, and she came with me and had a bit of a chat to Buck at the start and recorded me setting up for my episode. And then after that, we headed to the marina for a chat and a few beers with some fellow miners, some of whom I didn't know, so it was good to meet some new people and talk mining. I will leave a link to the podcast, the particular episode, in the show notes, which can be found at madmumzie.com/beers63. So in our chat, Buck shares his mining journey with us, and we also talk about his book that you might remember from episode 58, Coal Faces. It's a great book. I love it, and I recommend that you get it for everyone, especially if they're underground people. They'll get so much out of it. Good Christmas present. The links will be in the show notes as well to where to buy it. Also, what are his thoughts on women in mining, and so much more. After our chat, he said, come up here, I want to show you something. And it was this big cabinet full of old mining equipment and stuff you wear, you know, not the right words, but his mining collection. Old hard hats, belt buckles, and all sorts of interesting old gadgets and tools, and, you know, the monitors and stuff for underground. A lot of it was underground. And one hard hat was actually made out of some special hard cardboard. And I said, oh, so basically it's paper mache, right? It was really good. I videoed that. You can see that in the show notes or on the YouTube channel if you follow me on YouTube, Mad Mumzie with a Z-I-E. And towards the end of our video, his lovely wife asked me upstairs for a cup of coffee because it was a bit early for a beer and I had to drive. So we sat up there on their deck and spoke about how they see dolphins and whales and how cool is that? It was beautiful. And small world, one of my best mates in mining, Rusty, hello Rusty, he and Buck are good mates and his wife. So they were asking about how he's going as well. So, you know, it's such a small mining family and a family extended community, which I talk about all the time. So I'll shut up, let you listen to this conversation with me and Buck, an underground deputy and all-round nice guy. Cheers.
Hello and welcome to the podcast, Ian. Or is it Buck? Ian, Bucking.
Either. Buck's fine.
Buck's fine?
Buck's
okay,
fine.
Buck. I'm excited that we finally get to chat in person today.
Yes.
After a phone call just before you were heading off. And we
Yes.
have our wonderful Catherine from the ABC
We do.
in Sydney
We do.
with us, which is different. Last week it was TV. This week it's ABC. Next
That's
week,
right.
Yeah.
Getting
so,
famous.
no, it's not that. But it is nice that people know what podcasts are now, and also that people want to know about our mining industry.
Yes,
which
of
is why
course.
we're here.
Yep.
So we'll have a chat.
Yep,
and
no
I want to
problem.
hear all about your story.
Right.
You ready to dig in? Get
Okay,
it?
yeah.
Get it? Dig it?
Dig it. Oh, yeah, I do.
Mining.
Yeah, very clever.
It cracked me up.
Pretty clever.
So the most important question I
Yes.
always start off with is, this podcast is called the Beers with a Miner podcast. I like to start these happy hour episodes with my guests sharing their favourite beverage and their best place to enjoy it. It might be beer, wine, spirit, or perhaps even a cup of tea. What is yours, Buck?
My beer is Great Northern, original. Really like that. My best place to spend it is probably with my wife around about 4 o'clock. We have a couple of beers. And I really enjoy that. And with my family, of course. I like to enjoy a few beers with my family, or watching footy or drag racing or whatever.
Did you watch Bathurst on the weekend?
I did.
Oh, so did I. I gave myself the whole day off.
Oh, yeah, I
It
didn't
was
watch the
awesome.
whole lot of it, but it was magnificent.
Yeah,
Yes,
good race.
very good.
Are you Ford or a Holden man?
I'm a Holden man.
Yes, that's all right. Otherwise, I'd have to leave.
But
Sorry.
I was happy it was two Kiwis that won.
Oh, yeah, because you're a
First and
Kiwi.
second, I certainly are.
That's right, which we will talk a lot
Righto,
about.
that's
Yeah.
fine, yeah.
So let's start with that. Let's start with your mining journey.
Right.
First of all, how did you get into mining and how long ago was it?
I started mining in 1973 at Strongman Mine, which is in New Zealand on the west coast. My uncle was in mines, my dad. I've got about 6 generations of miners come out from Scotland.
Wow.
And we, I done an apprenticeship first. I started an apprenticeship, then I ended up going into the mines. And I got my deputy's ticket in 1983. 1983, I got my deputy's ticket, and to use it in them days, you had to sort of move away to sort of get a job, because I was only quite young. And so I ended up going up to Huntly after 11 years at Strongman.
Oh, wow.
And we went up to Huntly, and I used my deputy's ticket up there. I took my family up there, which is a big move for us because we've always lived on the coast.
Yeah.
And anyway, I was up there for 5 years, and then the mine was sort of slowing down, the industry and that, and things weren't heading the way I liked to do it. But I went up there initially to use my ticket and to get mechanised mining experience, because when I was at Strongman Mine, we were mainly hydro mining, shovel, and scraper loader, and it was hard work, but it was really good people there, and good mentors to help you along the way, and that's what I enjoyed, you know. And when I went up north, I had a couple of crews up there, Maori boys. That was good, really good experience. Met a lot of good people up there. But we were there for 5 years, and then we moved across to Australia. We flew across, and we left at 9 degrees and arrived at about 43 degrees. So it was a bit of a shock for the kids.
Why did you decide to come to Australia?
Well, if I went back to Greymouth, I would lose that mechanised mining experience because we never had any mechanised mining in Greymouth. So I decided to come to Australia and have a look. So we did, and we ended up going to Blackwater. And the people there were fantastic. I got quite sick there, actually. I got Rossera fever. I got one in Western Australia. And then I got Rossera fever, and then they had to airlift me to Rockhampton, intensive care for a couple of days, and we just arrived. We didn't know anyone, but the mine was absolutely amazing, South Blackwater Mines. They took my wife in, they put her up in a motel at the hospital, beside the hospital, and looked after us. And they didn't know me from a bar of soap, so that sort of made me stay. And the hospitality I got in Blackwater at the hospital, I thought, well, I can't leave now. We were quite homesick at the time.
Yeah.
But I said, no, we'll give it a go. So we did, and then we moved to Thierry. We were there for 6 years, and I loved it there. It was good for the kids growing up in Thierry. It was only a young town then. And I sunk the main shaft for Oakey Creek, number 1. And that was an amazing job. And then we moved to North Goonyella in 93. And so we moved there, and I finished off the drifts there. I'm a shot firer, so we finished the drifts off, and then I went into a production crew and then onto a longwall crew. And I was there till 99, and then I left there and went to Newlands. It's out at Glendon. That's the old southern pit. Magnificent, amazing pit. Met a lot of good people there. The deputies actually sort of run the mine more or less. Mm-hmm. It was the way it was set up was great, and I've took a lot of that on my journey with me. The way they'd done things there, it was amazing. Then I went back to. They wanted me to go back to North Goonyella as a under manager. So reluctantly I did, and I'd done it for a year, but that was part of the deal. And some of the guys, when they closed the Southern, I took 15 people with me to give them jobs. So I'd done it for a year, and then after that year, I had enough of that, sitting in up the surface and all the stuff that goes on. I didn't really like it. Didn't feel comfortable. Every day was just.
You were a sunshine miner.
Well, I was sitting up top, and all you're doing is putting bushfires out. I like to be at the front, and I couldn't. It's hard to relate to people when you're not down there with them.
Yeah.
So I found that quite hard, and so I left, and then a friend of mine, me and Bryson Chin, we went out and went out on our own. And I went out, worked at Bundoora, then went to Grass Tree, and then I ended up going over to Carborough Downs. I was there for about 4 or 5 years. I was on their longwall, and I was doing a contract out by as well. Then went back to Grass Tree, got offered a big contract there of actually shooting a dike out of a panel which was operating. So it was pretty clever for me. I thought that was really, really good to get into,
Yeah.
So we done that, and it worked. They were happy with that. Mm-hmm. So it worked pretty good. Then after that, I went to Cook Colliery for a wee while. I enjoyed working with the blokes, and only a 10.5-hour shift, so that was good for a change. Yeah. But the drive was a killer.
So where's that?
At Blackwater.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it was a long drive out there, and a long drive back, and I found myself falling asleep sometimes, so I sort of stopped that. And then I ended up going to Broadmeadows, offered me a permanent job in 2015, I think it was. Yeah. So I thought, well, permanent job, and I'll retire here, and so I did. They've been very good to me. They've been excellent, actually. They let me do. They ask me questions, what I think about me men, and they don't push me with my men. You know, I sort of run my part, and they're all happy with that because I get our jobs all done. And so, and then they bought copies of my book, so I'm really pleased about that. So the young fellas can actually read it and go through and see what other people have been through. It's not just going down. And there is a career in mining. And I think it's a good career, you know, but, you know, you've got to do it properly. And you can go either ways. You can go either be a miner, and there's nothing wrong with being a miner, a good miner, go on to be a deputy or under manager, or move over to be a tradesman. You know, you can do that. The option's there to do that if you're good. But, you know, some guys just go on there and think, all I'm going to do is bolt for the rest of my life, you know. They don't have to do that. You know, there's other options they can do.
Just let the rubbish truck go past.
That is the rubbish truck.
Yeah.
It's Wednesday.
I have trains at my house. So sometimes when I'm interviewing, hang on a minute, there's just a train.
This is the 3 o'clocker.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's it.
Yeah.
That is a really good tip for people who are looking to get into the industry is once you're in, it doesn't mean that's what you have to do forever. Once you're in, you can open your eyes and see what else is out there.
Oh, look, you can do all kinds of stuff. Like, who'd ever thought I'd do a book? If it wasn't for my friend in New Zealand, he works for a newspaper, and my friend actually owns a newspaper. He said, and I told him some of the wee things, and he said, we should write a book on mining. And I've always wanted to do that because the old fellas that led me in the 70s and the 80s, they're all gone now, but their legacy will continue on with me anyway. And if I put it down in writing, it's a good thing to hand on. You know, someone will read it one day. And I know there's a lot of people, just not in Queensland, like in New South Wales, but I haven't sort of got into New South Wales where to get me books down to, you know. And I'm sure if one of them read it, it'd be fantastic, you know. So I might try and send one down to a museum or maybe something like that, or the Mines Rescue in New South Wales.
Yeah. Well, the ABC just spoke of you, so that might be a way. And we haven't mentioned the book. People, my listeners are going, what bloody book?
Yeah,
but actually, I will have said it in the intro.
Yes,
but the book is called Coal Faces, and I love it because it's got so many pictures in it.
Oh, yes.
And it just takes
that took so long. It took us 3 years, and probably a year and a half of that was getting photos, because in the old days they never took photos because they only had box brownies. You get one film a year or something. So I had to take, like, people's wedding photos. Take the husband, take his head off, and then put it onto that era, you know, to get the pictures done, you know.
Yeah,
and I got a lot from the Greymouth Star, which was fantastic because they've written a few books over there. So,
and you've had feedback about the book?
Everyone said that, a lot of people said they can't put it down. Well, it's been great. You know, especially it's easier for people who know me or know where we come from and what we went through in the old days. It's easy. And I'm sure for New South Wales, a lot of them old fellas will know, and Ipswich and around those places. I've had a lot of good feedback about it. It's not just about mines, it's the humour in mines and the people look after you, and some of the stories of my journey when I was I had a really bad motorbike accident, and I was in traction for a year, and some of the stuff in that was, and everything in that book is true blue. Everything is just true, and it's funny, I read it myself, I think, God, how have I lasted this long?
Well, that was going to be one of my questions. You just said it was here and there.
I know.
So I know, but you're nearly at the end of your mining journey.
Yeah, I'm 65 last week, so...
Yeah, happy birthday.
Thank you. So next year I'll retire, probably March, April. And then I'll go into my next stage, which is restoration of old gear, petrol pumps. I might do another car or a truck. It's a love of mine, so I just really enjoy doing that and get a lot of feedback. But you know, as you get older, you can't move as quick as you could. So it's my love for cars, and I've handed that on to my son, which is a great thing. You know, I'm really proud of that. Yeah.
And now you have more time to do it.
Exactly.
And you'll be home all the time. How's your wife going to handle that?
Good. Well, we get on. Like Ellen's going to carry on working. She works at pathology, so she only works 3 days a week. And she loves her job, so I'm not about to say, you know. But we will plan more for trips. We're planning another trip in our caravan next year, and we'll go right down south, and I'm really looking forward to that because I didn't know how we'd go, like cooped up in a wee caravan after both of us working flat out all the time, but it took us a couple of days, but now we just love it. Put on a wee bit of beef and just relaxing and enjoying life and seeing stuff. It's not all about just seeing work, and you know, it's good ethics to get out and have a go, but you know, when people retire and get the chance, you know, I reckon they should do it. It's fantastic. Yeah. It's a beautiful country. Oh. Absolutely. And the people in it. We had so many good friends. It's great. Great.
Did you have people all around to go visit? Or did you
not really.
Not do that?
No, we just stayed at caravan parks and we free camped and met people and, you know, just found out there's a lot of people just live in their caravan full time, you know. Yeah. I don't think I could do that, but it's fantastic, you know.
Well, you certainly got a lovely home base here.
Oh, yes, it's taken me a long time to do this, you know, like it's a long time to sort of get to the stage, and now we're finding it's probably a bit big, but the place it's at is really, really good, you know. Yeah.
I was going to ask you that when you moved all those times, did family come with you? Did you stay in the small mining towns, or were you here and you always drove off?
No. We travelled. The first mining town was Blackwater. Yep. We were there, and then we were Tieri for 5 years. My daughter was 16. We left there, Holly, my oldest daughter. I didn't want her to marry a miner.
Why not? Why not?
Well,
people say marry a rich miner, you'll be laughing.
Yeah, I know, but I don't know. Some of the attitudes are a bit...
I know.
You know. So anyway, I wanted to give her a chance at school, so we moved in here. She met a young fella, and she's Blair. She's still with him today. They're married with 3 kids, and he's a coal miner.
So she married a bloody miner after all.
And then my other daughter married a miner, and then so it's good. My son, he's a miner deputy. So.
And your son is a miner.
Yeah. Yes, he is a miner. Yes, but I didn't let him go in the mine straight away. I had him fencing on a property out west for a couple of years to work to learn some work ethics, and it's worked a treat. Yeah, he knows what hard work is, and he's not afraid of it. And
He'd appreciate the money more too.
And I think, he does. He does, but he enjoyed it out there so much, him and his friend. And I think it's a great thing to do. Like, it's sad seeing young kids just put straight into the mines by their parents. You can have this, son, you know. But you really got to earn it, and all they know is mining. But if they start elsewhere and have to actually do the hard work and stay back and miss out on lunches and things like that, that's what you do for your job and your boss. It's good ethics, I think. Yeah. I'm a big thing in that, you know.
When you started mining, Buck, did you have a plan just to do it for a while and then get out, or were you always thinking, I'll do this forever?
I always swore I'd never go in the mines. Because I see my dad and my granddad, and in them days the miners only usually last till they're 50, 55, you know, big arms, big shoulders, skinny wee legs, because they stand and shovel all day. And there was no safety gear they wore in them days, no dust masks, like you couldn't see your mate on the other side of the box for the coal dust. You shovelled that every day. It was only for 6 hours a day.
That's enough, though.
Yes, that's right. Well, legally, and they come from the health department in them days, because you lose so much sweat and you dehydrate and then you hydrate and you go back into it. And in them days, it was all, you get paid for what you've done. It was contract. You don't get paid a daily rate. I think you did get paid a daily rate of about $1.50.
So like a base rate.
Yes, base rate, and the rest was contract. So you made your money how much you fill. And that's how you made your money. So it was hard work. And if you were, when I first started floating was when you go, if one of the miners are off, you go and replace him with his mate. You go there for a day or a week if he's sick or he's on holiday. And if you're no good, that gets back to the boss. You don't get another chance. If you can't shovel or have a go, you don't have to be a big shoveler or a big tough bugger. As long as you have a go, you'll learn the trade, you know.
Yeah. And by shovel, you mean literally on a shovel?
Banjo shovel on the front of that bar there.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
I'll share lots of pictures in the show notes, because apparently we have... What do we have to look at? A mining
I've got a mining collection of old lamps and hats. And
definitely. Well, do a little video of that.
That's fine. Yeah, good job.
Awesome.
So it was really hard work, but as I said, they teach you, and and you learn whether you're worthy or not to go on the coal. And the guys that aren't, they'll stay trucking or go shiftman or whatever out by.
So you said you would never do it.
Oh, yes, sorry.
No, that's all right.
I did.
And now I know why.
Yeah.
So what happened?
And, in 1970, my mum moved from Christchurch to Greymouth, back home, because our dad left years before. Anyway, then I started, I got an apprenticeship with Dave's Panel Beating. I was there for 2 years, and I never had any money. Like, I was only on $16 a week. And all my friends would be out and that. And anyway, I decided, bugger it. So I went in the bush. I went in the bush for about a year, clear felling, cutting native timber down. It was hard work, but it was great. I loved it. So I done that for a year, and then I got the opportunity from my uncle to get a job in the mine. And I thought, oh, bugger it, I will. So I did. And it's sort of in your blood. When you walk underground, even for the first time, I walked in there, and my dad worked at the same mine, my granddad, my uncles, cousins, and I walked in there and I thought, oh, this is great, So, so I was there ever since. And my uncle again taught me, and a guy called John Sturgeon, he's a great mentor, he's on the front of the book, and he's a great mentor of mine. He told me to go and do my deputy's ticket.
Yep. And
I said, don't be so silly, I'm not going to do my deputy's ticket. He said, yep, you will. Me and another guy called Peter O'Neill. Peter unfortunately got killed at Pike River. Yeah. He was a deputy.
That was a big.
Yeah,
big one,
that was just. Don't get me going on. I tell you, if I seen that Whittle now, even now, I don't know the man. I've never met him, but I'd just knock him out. What he's done to the coast, But anyway, John Sturgeon, he's just a great man. He took me and Peter O'Neill and put us in a caravan, because we used to play football, of course. So it was on a Wednesday and a Friday night, we'd go in the caravan. Yep. Because on Tuesdays and Thursdays we were football training.
Rugby league,
of course, yep. It was a big thing back home. It was a big thing, you had to do it, And anyway...
you weren't a Kiwi if you didn't.
No, yeah, exactly right. But he was just amazing man, encouraged me, and we went to night school and we got our tickets. But I never stand over people, but I always make sure that they know what they're doing, and that's something I've learned from other people, from other deputies, have taught me, over the years. So it's and I've been in the mines ever since. And once you get in there, I think it's hard to get out sometimes. But sort of mine was, I was doing one job and then I'd go to another, and then I'd go another direction. Like
I took little fresh starts.
Yeah, that's right. Like I took hydro mining to up to Huntley West mine. It blew up a few years ago, actually. They had an area in a seam that they couldn't get with machines. So I set up a wee hydro mine,
So what is hydro mining?
Hydro mining is when you bore and fire. When it's really undulating, it might be on a grade of 1 and 4, 1 and 6, and you've got to try and get that seam out. You can't get it with machinery because it's too steep. Yep. So we'll bore and fire it and then wash it. Hose it down these wee flumes into a catchment area, and then we'll put it on the belt. It'll get put on with an AFC conveyor or something onto the belt, and it goes straight out. So as soon as you wash it from their face, it's gone. It's gone straight to the service. So you haven't got shuttle cars and nothing like that. So it's, and I thought that was pretty good, I was really pleased with that. Then I come over here and, it's been an amazing trip. Amazing. I've met a lot of good people, learned a lot of stuff, and, it's just been amazing.
What do you think is the best way for people these days to get into mining? A lot of the people who connect with me are desperate to get in the mines.
Yes.
And that's why my first thing I say is, well, listen to the podcast first and see if it's really what you want to do, because I get people's stories and they're not all good. There are a lot of people that are very successful and love it. But
yes, there is. But, you got to look past, I know it's good money, but look past the money and just see what you want to do in mining, If you want to sit there and pick up your $1,800 a week, whatever they get for putting bolts up all your life, that's as far as you'll go, But, you know, as I said before, mining's a career. You can go a lot of different paths, and you can do that if you're clever enough. And if you want to do it, you've got to want to do it, you know, not someone tell you to do it, you know. But to get into mining now is talk to other people, you know, talk to young fellas and say, and what I done, I had a list. Wherever I go, I have a list of fors and against. Fors are money, obviously.
Yep.
The money's a good thing.
It's always on the fors list.
Yeah. Probably the long hours. It's hard. It's hard for a lot of young fellas to get out of bed. Like in early hours, I get up at 3:15 every day when I'm at work, and I don't get to bed till 8 o'clock at night. So, but I'm getting towards the end of my career, but they're just starting, so they've got to think about that. And it's hard work. It's hot, especially over here. It's very hot, but you know I find it very rewarding. There's a lot of good people out there. There's a lot of people in positions that shouldn't be in positions too. But you can use, certainly if you've got any clues, you'll pick that up pretty quick, and you'll find someone that you trust, and you'll deal with them, you know. But yeah, like it's a good career. I really enjoy it, you know. But I'm getting the end of my time now, so I'm getting pretty tired, really.
Do you think you'll be sad when you do actually walk out of that hole for the last time?
Yeah, so it will be sad, but you know, work are trying to talk me into coming back and doing some times, and whether I do that or not, I don't know. But it'll be sad for the blokes, and you know, and I'm sort of an emotional bugger too, you know. So standing up in front of me guys for the last day is going to be pretty hard. Yeah.
You're starting to tear up a little bit there already, just thinking about that.
Yeah.
Do they have any underground traditions for your last day?
Oh. Look, we've had a few different mines, like stone dust and water. And
like what?
Like stone dust. They put water on you first and they cover you in stone dust. And we've had that before, but it's sort of all shunned out now through the things that are not politically correct. But you usually get a bit of water. One of the funniest ones that at our work was one of the guys was leaving, and we got a big truck wash there. And we don't use it because our underground vehicles are. And this guy... He took the whole crew, backed them into the truck wash. And so the whole crew was wet, not just the guy. So I thought that was pretty funny.
That's funny.
You know, and it was, everyone took it as a joke, of course, you know, and it's good, you know. But, yeah, you know, it'll be really sad, but I'm happy to go on. And I hope I've passed things on to other younger fellas, you know, and I'm sure I have in my career, you know. I've still got a lot of friends in New Zealand that they started off in other jobs, and I've taken them in, and they actually love it. You know, the majority of them are going to be deputies. Like, I think there's about 4 guys from Newlands that were on my longwall face. 4 of them are deputies now, some under managers. Wow. So they've taken it by the horns, and you know, good boys, good hard workers, and you know,
makes it rewarding for you.
It does. It does, and they were good workers, you know, and they listen most of the time. But we had our arguments and that, but you know. But they've actually done something, you know, through that hard work, and I think it's a great thing, you know. And don't ever be scared to ask questions. That's my biggest thing. If you don't know, ask the question, because someone could get hurt if you don't understand what you're doing.
And if you've already asked it, and you should feel like you should know the answer, and you're still not sure.
If you don't get it,
ask
stop.
again. You might be having a...
That's it.
Know.
Just stop and ask the question again. Yeah. Ask someone else. And if you're not sure of that answer, ask again.
Or don't do it.
But most officials, that's right. Yeah, no, don't do that thing. You know, just don't do that. If you're not happy with it, you don't feel right about it, ask the question.
On the leaving side of things, traditions, through the people that I've met and my family as well, and I've done it once, is tied my steel cap boots onto the fence. And they have boot trees as well.
Oh, do they?
Yeah.
Is this an open cut thing?
Yeah, it must be.
Yes,
yeah.
Yeah.
There's been a few boot trees around. I know my sister's taken lots of photos of those. I'll share some on the show notes.
Yeah.
For this episode, which will be madmumzie.com/beers63.
Yes.
Yeah. So you can see the pictures and the video that we'll take soon on there, and a link to your book as well.
That'd be good.
But yeah, so I left a mine
Yes.
Because I always just say this one band camp sort of thing.
Yeah.
So I can get away with a bit more and say, bloody cranky dozer driver,
Yeah.
And I tied my boots up, took the photo and everything next day, and had a huge night that night with the crew, got on it, never to return to mining ever again.
Yeah.
I really liked those boots. I went and untied them and took them home. They were purple.
That's good.
The breast cancer.
I see a lot of the boots, the purple ones, the girls wear.
And that was a long time ago. Quite a few of the open cut blokes got them as well.
Did they?
Yeah, because the mine company, because you get your standard issue, or they've a lot less these days. But back then you got every year, you got your new stuff.
Right,
and so they'd donate $20 per boot to breast cancer.
I think a lot of our boys got shirts, I think. Blue was Beyond Blue or something.
Yeah, and prostate cancer,
and the pink
they do.
The pink was for the breast cancer. I think.
Which is good.
Which is a great thing.
Yeah, it's good to see the mining companies helping out.
No, it is good. Most of the
out.
guys in service had them. We didn't have them underground. But I don't know if we ever got offered them, actually.
Yeah, we better...
They
might need some pink shirts.
I must find it. Well, that's all right. We could call them salmon.
Yeah. Oh, you can call them whatever you want. We know they're pink.
Yeah, that's right.
Now for a word from our sponsor, Julia Hartman and the Bantax Accounting Group. Julia's my awesome accountant. She's written 2 books with financial expert Noel Whittaker, and she's got a passion to help us miners make the most out of our hard-earned cash. She's got heaps of tips and make sure that we get every cent we are meant to get, and is right on the ball with everything. If you head to bantax.com.au/miners, that's BANTACS, you can download a free booklet, all just for us miners. And there's also a spreadsheet in there that helps you check off what tools you have for your trade, like your isolation lock, work boots, 7 shirts, all of these sorts of things, and you can weigh them up and it'll tell you if you qualify weight-wise to claim your trips out to work. And that's just one of the things that they've got over there. So I strongly urge you to head to bantax.com.au/miners and see what they can do and find your nearest office as we come up to tax time. They're really on the ball, know what's going on with the tax department, and there's heaps of other free information like property investing. If you really plan on doing some great things with your money, you want to do that, right? If you want to sell your house, can save a lot of money if you find out what to do first rather than in hindsight. And Julia, she'll, make sure you get it right. And if you do it wrong and then go and see her, she'll up you in the nicest possible way, because she really cares about us and wants us to keep our money and not give it to the tax department. Anyway, head over to bantax.com.au/miners and tell them Mad Mumzie sent you. Speaking of PPE, what do you do with all your old PPE? You must have a truckload after all these years.
Oh, the old PPE, when we leave from one pit to another. Oh, I take most of it with me. Like, especially if you get a good pair of earmuffs or earplugs that you like.
What about your boots?
My boots, I usually take them. Well, they're no good to anyone else, really.
Yeah.
If they're fairly new, I'll take them, but if not, I'll toss them. Like PPE have never been a problem at the mines I've ever worked at. You just go up and ask and there's no problem.
I've had a few... The reason I ask this question is because my mum made pot hangers out of our old hard hats. Put petunias in them.
Yeah, well, that's
good. I keep my hard hats. I've got all my old hard hats.
Good on you.
And she used to plant herbs in our boots.
Well, good. I've seen that, actually.
Yeah, so I've got a few of my old boots are in my garden, but they're just deteriorate. Like, they're going to go back into the earth. Are they
the high-top boots?
No, not the high
top boots.
Yeah.
So I can bring you a pair of them. When I retire, I'll bring them to you.
Oh, wow.
And give you a hat.
Oh, lovely.
Probably not my last one. I'll give you one of the first
No, I
ones
don't expect.
for your mum. Yeah, that's good.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, we. My partner has the high one.
Yes.
Yeah, I went to his farm the other day, and he came out of the bush with a beer in one hand.
Yeah.
I'm like, wow, look at you. Yeah. It's good that he wears them out because lots of snakes where he is.
Oh,
and
yeah.
he
Well,
was
I wear
building
them.
a rock
Yes.
wall. And,
Yep.
yeah.
And that's a good
better
idea.
than
I
ours.
wear them over the bank when I'm whipsing them because we eat snakes over there.
What about your high-vis shirts and stuff? Are they your gardening and fishing shirts, or
No,
you
I
just never
don't.
wear them at
I
home?
try never to wear them at home
I'm like that, right?
because you see people, you see them at shopping centres with them. I know a lot of people that work at mills and that, but these are underground guys, I know.
Yep.
And they wear them on their days off. I mean, what the...
Oh, what the actual... That's right. Look, I'm with you, Buck, because I got so sick of the colour, whatever the colour is. We were orange and I was excited when we changed and went to yellow. I was like, woo, new colour. But people on my crew, they wear it fishing, they wear it mowing the lawn. You've got old T-shirts for that, mate.
I've got heaps of mine. But I have still got brand new shirts when I had my company, Buchanan Mining. I've still got them. And my son and my grandson, my daughter-in-law brought a shirt for my son, and he got a wee logo on it, Buchanan Mining, when he was only 6 months old. So there's a picture of me and Hayden and Ryland with this wee shirt on.
Yeah,
so that was pretty special.
Yeah,
because I still had my company then. See.
I love the little kids' high-vis.
Yeah,
my
they look
little
pretty
3-year-old
good.
grandson just got given one from someone's business.
How good's that?
It's so cute.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, what are your favourite rosters that you've done over the years?
Well,
you would have done a few.
Yeah, I have. Like when we first started.
Not so favourite.
Yeah. In New Zealand, it was mainly like 5 day, like Monday to Friday, and then I used to work like a Saturday. I used to do a lot of overtime, all the time, because I knew I wanted to get ahead. I used to work a Saturday or a Sunday morning for inspection, and when I come over here, we worked the old 7-panel roster at Oakey Creek. That was very hard. That's the old open cut roster, which was 7 on, 1 off, 7 on, 2 off, 7 on, 4 off. And that was a hard roster.
You wouldn't
especially
know.
underground. No, I didn't. Because Ellen used to pick me up, my wife picked me up from the mine after the night shift on the last one, and I'd just get in the car, the kids would be on the back, ready to go, and we'd just take off. Yeah. And we'd go to Yeppoon, Mackay, Airlie Beach, wherever.
Anywhere.
And just chill out.
Yeah.
You know, and we needed that, and I'd sleep on the way. And it was great. Like, we used to go, all our friends, we had a lot of close friends in Tieri. We used to, the girls on the holidays used to go to Bundura Dam. We'd set up all the tents and have our boat there. And then we'd go to work on night shift, come back, have a couple of beers in the morning, have a sleep, get up, do some swimming with the kids and water skiing, and then we'd go back to work for that night. That worked pretty good, you know. Yeah, so, but the roster I'm on now is not too bad. It's 5 and 4.
Do you have a pyjama day in that?
No.
No, that's good.
Yes.
What are your thoughts on pyjama day?
Oh, it's terrible, you know. I think it's a terrible thing, you know. We used to have a pyjama day. I think when I first started, we might have had a pyjama day. That goes from days to nights. And it was just, well, the boys would play up.
That's it.
They'd play up that night.
Big excuse to get on the piss and sleep on the next day. Run them
I
up.
know. So, I mean, yeah. But, I mean, with the hours we're doing now, you know, like we've talked to lots of people on sleep apnea and how to sleep and how not to, and the diets, you know. But, I mean, you know, we still get the same food at the camps. We still, you know. But I must admit, I'm in the best room I've ever been in a camp.
Wow.
Now, so
That's
it's pretty
good.
lucky. Yeah. So...
You would have been in some dodgy rooms over there.
Oh, bloody middleman. At the old camp, we used to... If the people next door in the footy paddock didn't keep you awake, your air conditioner, then it fell out one day. I went to put it on. It fell out of the wall because it's rotten.
The whole air conditioner?
Yeah.
What?
The floor was rotten and, oh, God. But anyway, look, they were the days. And all you wanted to do was sleep. And I always made a pact that I'd never drink while I was out there unless I was staying back a day, it was the last day, or a training day, I'd have a couple of beers. But I never did because it was hard enough trying to get that sleep in. And if you don't, for 7 days, it was bloody hard.
Yeah, some people get better. When I ended up, I was on 7 and 7 roster.
Yes,
so
yes.
7 either days or nights, no derby
Oh, right,
day.
okay, that's not bad.
And I really liked it because by the end of the 5th, 6th, 7th night, it might as well be daytime. Like the routine was so good for me.
Yes,
but other people got worse as it went on. If you don't sleep, you don't sleep, you don't sleep, you don't sleep, it just adds up. And by the end of it, they're just shot. But it did used to take a lot to get over, especially as you get older.
That's right.
Like, God, it used to only take me a morning. I'd go home, have a few beers, still be up, the next night and finally go to sleep. But after that, I might just pull over in Debo and have a nap.
Well, we've all done that. And, and one of the biggest things about stress, like there's a lot of stress out there now. People take a lot of stress on. And I don't know whether it's, because they've been on tablets or whatever, but there is. But the biggest thing I always found when I was younger was at North Yellow. I used to do a lot of training, a lot of running, or the gym, or the pool, and you do that. And music is one of the best de-stressors I ever get. I get in my old car and I just turn that thing up, windows down, going home. It's the best feeling. Yeah, and that's one really important thing because I ask a lot of the young fellas at work, I said, you seem all stressed out and bloody not sleeping, not doing this. And I said, do you do any exercise or anything, And I think that's a big thing, Get yourself buggered in the morning. Like I used to go home, even just before I hop in the bed, I'd try and do 50 sit-ups or something, just to get you buggered and just give you that wee tip you over the top and away you go to sleep.
Yeah.
And that's
a good tip.
I think that's a good thing for young fellas and girls, It's, it just helps you to get back to sleep, if you're buggered. But if you're wide awake, if you had a bit of a kip that night or something, and you get home, you won't sleep. You'll toss and turn all day till about 1 o'clock, and then you've got to be up at 4.
You finally get back to sleep, and then the bloody alarm goes off.
And by the end of the week, you're that bloody cranky. So, you've got to try and manage it yourself too. I know all the experts tell you how to manage it, but it doesn't work for everyone.
And it changes too. Just when you think you've got this night shift, right. Then you'll have a day, why didn't I sleep?
Well, that's right.
What's going on? I'm good at this.
It was like when you had young kids in the old days, cotton deaths were like, you couldn't give them bananas. Don't give your kids bananas, or don't give them an egg. Make sure they don't feed them a wee egg or something. I mean, bloody hell. You bug it if you do, you bug it if you don't.
That's right. Yeah, it's just a matter of what works best for you.
I think so.
At the time.
Yeah.
My biggest tip is don't beat yourself up if you're lying there trying to get to sleep and you're not sleeping. You go, oh my God, I'm not asleep.
I know. Well, you won't.
At least you're laying down.
That's
Shut
right.
your eyes. You're having
resting.
a bit of a rest.
That's right. Yeah.
And then you might eventually
just nod off. Yeah,
meditation apps I like to.
I turn well, I've never meditated, but I just turn the radio on.
I had a feeling you'd say that.
Yeah.
Not the first one on the podcast to say that.
I bet you I'm not. Yeah.
I think Soraya might have been... I really bonded with Soraya when I interviewed her. I'll share a link to that in the show notes. So you've worked with Soraya,
I did. Yeah, long, dark-haired girl.
Yes, gorgeous.
Yes.
And
she's
lovely.
She's a nice girl. Well,
she was nominated for the Women's Industry Network. She was a finalist. And so I was going down for the breakfast down there on International Women's Day in Brisbane, and the real miner had worked with Soraya, and he said, you've got to make sure you meet up with Raya, and he had 3 questions I had to ask her about right at the end, which is quite funny. Yeah. But it was so good to talk to a woman who'd been underground and her views on that. And it was just really interesting. Yeah, we got on great.
Well, she listens, see?
Yeah.
And Soraya, I've always known she listens, and she doesn't swear much. A lot of the girls...
I did all the swearing in that episode.
But a lot of the girls come in and, and I actually have a shot at them. They'll come into the crib and the boys will be swearing, and I just say to my boys, our boy, try not to swear. Look, things will slip, but try not to swear around the girls because they try and fit in. And these young girls... They come in like the young farmers, and they come in, and the boys will be swearing, so they'll start, and it just doesn't sound right to me. And I just say to them by themselves, Chook, like there's no need to try and keep up with those guys. There's no need for that. You don't have to believe yourself like that. Just do your job, listen to them and do your job, And a lot of them did listen, But Soraya, she never swore much. She was good. And I thought she was as a tradesperson, she was quite good at the job because she was in my panel for a while.
Oh, right, yeah.
I actually worked with her.
She's done her apprenticeship now?
Yes.
Yes.
I know she's in the last, I haven't seen her for about probably 6-8 months now.
Yeah.
But, she was nearly finishing year 4, I think, when she left and went back upstairs. And, yeah, but there's a few girls, there's quite a few trades girls are good. But some of them just swear too much and,
I remember Mum saying when I first started, because she'd been in mining.
Your mum, was she?
Yeah, she started as a cleaner, same age as me, 39 I started.
Yep.
She started life again as well, and that's when she started. Started off as a cleaner. She was in hard rock though. Yes. A cleaner and then a breakfast cook, or in the kitchen, and then breakfast cook, and then she ended up in the lab, and then she ended up a laboratory supervisor. And then she retired and now she's an artist. But I interviewed her on my podcast and she's got some great stories because she's a real pioneering woman.
Yes.
She's 75 now and she started when she was 40. So,
that's right. She would have some good stories.
But she said to me 2 things I'll never forget, and it was, you don't have to become one of the blokes, like with the swearing.
Yes.
And the other thing was, you think women gossip. Wait till you hear how much the bloody men gossip. And she's so right.
I know she is. I remember when I was young, I was playing football and I was single at the time. And anyway, every Monday morning, all the old guys would sit me down. What'd you get up to on the weekend, Buck? And I'd go, and I'd just tell them lies. But you had to be careful because a lot of their daughters actually lived.
They knew.
You weren't sure, because we live in a small town, know. And so, and I'd just tell them, really? And they'd be shaking their head and walking off to work, and I'd be bullshitting them, But they loved it,
Yeah.
Yeah. And that was just a matter of that. And, when you're talking about your mum, I heard a thing on the radio today, and it said, it was actually Alan Jones, and he said he come from a farming community, and he said his mother said to him, it takes more of a man to go by himself in the right direction than to go with the mob in the wrong direction. And I was thinking, I was cleaning my car this morning, and I'm thinking, how true is that? And if you don't ask, you'll just follow. And if you're not sure, you don't have to go with the mob. You can have your own say. Otherwise, people like us, no one to read my book, no one to listen to us. And that's why we do these. That's why we do these things, And I think, and that's a great saying, Yeah. Anyway,
I'll write that down in the show
I
notes.
think,
I'll remember that
I
one. I like that.
It is good. It is good, and it's right. Some people will go by themselves, but the majority will follow the mob in the wrong direction.
And you find that on crew too. I've been on a few sites where they were talking about changing rosters, and they had a vote, and all the undercurrents.
I know
what goes on, and so I decided I'm just going to go with what I thought suited me, not with everybody else.
Exactly.
And the funniest thing, Buck, was they had a vote, and we went from a lifestyle roster with a pyjama day to just... No, it was 4 and 4 to lifestyle roster.
Right.
No pyjama day. That's what we were voting on. And the old fellas really wanted the old fellas really wanted to stay 4 and 4. That's all they knew. And we got to work that extra day. Who's going to do it? Like now we do 7 and 7.
I know.
And it got through 4 and 4 with the voters. But the company said, but we think the other one is better. So the vote that lost is actually the roster that got in. And
how does that work out?
Well, they never said... Whoever wins the vote is what's going to be. But we want to hear your opinion. There's a little... what do they call it? Small writing? Yeah.
Well, we had that. We had... when I left Oakey Creek and went to North Kenyella, it was always going to be 4 and 4, 12-hour shifts. And we were coming from 9.5-hour shifts, I think they were, at Oakey Creek. Oh, there was hell on. Yeah, the union was going crook and yous will never get 12-hour shifts in this country and rah, rah, rah. I said, for Christ's sake, we were doing like 9.5-hour shifts and most of us were doing overtime, so it was 12, and having 2 days off.
Yeah.
Where does that go when you've got equal days off?
You've got to look at the off more than the on.
But when we started, the first month it was 23 days on, 5 off. I'd done 1, and I went in and I said, I'm not doing this to my family.
No.
You know, we were living at Serena Beach. They rented a house for me.
Yeah.
And I said, I'm not doing this. Anyway, so they pushed and pushed, and they got 4 and 4. And what happened? They all wanted to come from Oakey Creek to get to 4 and 4 because it was that bloody good.
Yeah.
You know,
4 and 4 was good.
Oh, amazing.
You just get out there and it's time to go home.
That's right. Yeah, that's exactly right. And it was good, you know. But a lot of people played on that roster too because they knew the first day is settling in and the last day was the day to go home.
Yeah, sports
so they only
day.
get 2 days production.
That's right. Yeah.
And I used to hate sports day because I had a really good friend and he's passed away now, but he used to bring a whistle on a Friday for sports day.
Yeah.
And I used to say, get that whistle. And I got rid of the whistle. And the next tour, the whole crew had a whistle. And I was in the front.
Just to piss you off even
and they
more.
all go, sports day, and they all whistled. But we did have some fun.
That's good.
And it was all taken in jest.
Yeah.
You know, we did have some fun.
Yeah. And that's what you've got to do. You've got
They
to
were
find
great days.
ways to make your time out there fun and bearable and light. And
that's why I wrote that book. And, I mean, there's lots of things that aren't in it that I couldn't remember everything, you know, but I wanted to get just what I could remember out. And, you know, you never know, I might write some more notes one day.
Yeah.
I'm not saying I'll do another book, but I might write some more notes and we'll see how we go.
Yeah. But when you think of some more, let me know. Come back on the podcast.
I will.
I love good fun stories.
Oh,
been a bit serious
we had
lately.
some bloody beauties, no, characters.
So we might think about wrapping up and then we'll go up and have a look at
That's fine.
Look at your lovely stuff up there. The final question that I usually ask people is, what is your special place, Buck, when life turns to crap? It can get tough. How do you personally handle tough times? What do you do? What's your happy place?
Are you talking about at work on roster or at home?
Both, if you like.
I find, again, music, and I go for a walk. If I've got problems, I'll talk to my wife or, you know, find someone to talk to. And, tough times, it is hard sometimes, but you've got to find someone to talk to and unleash it. Doesn't matter who he is. I had a good friend and he was a staffy and I could talk to him about anything. And I used to go and talk to him sometimes about personal things, you know, and when things got tough, you know. I had some health issues a few years ago and I thought the worst, but, he was fantastic and the company were fantastic. So, you know, you've got to talk to people. If you've got problems, whether it be health or medical, you know, it's to find someone that you trust and someone who's going to give you good ideas. And, you know, everyone's got a friend and you need to find a friend and have it with them. If you don't want to talk to a family member, find someone out of the loop and someone who you trust, if you've known for a while. And that's talking about it is much better, as we know, but it's easy to say.
It is.
It was a personal thing, you know. Yeah. But, I find when I do things tough and that, like my family is very, I'm very close to them, so I find that pretty good. Yeah.
And I can imagine looking at the view here, sitting outside with the Great Northern, staring out at the ocean. Do you see whales here?
Yes. Porpoises last week, me and Al were walking the beach, there was porpoises, dolphins, sorry. And whales, we see them listing out
there.
there.
They call them porpoises?
Yeah, we do. Yeah,
bloody Kiwi.
I know. They're everywhere now.
I have not seen a dolphin since I've been up
joking.
here. No.
Yeah.
Only 2 days ago. What day was it? Monday? No, Sunday.
Sunday we seen them.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
They were just off the beach too, about 50 metres off the beach. Oh, look, we're very lucky where we live, you know, it's beautiful. Yes. Absolutely.
thanks so much for your time.
Oh, look, any time, if I can help any other time, that'd be fantastic.
And I shall leave a link in the show notes.
That'd be good.
Hopefully we'll sell thousands of your books.
Oh, well, I'll try
I
and...
highly recommend... Oh, and don't forget you've got to sign up.
Yes, I will.
Before I forget.
I really want to get into... try and get down to New South Wales, because I know those old fellas that understand the book too. So.
There's writing already in there.
Yeah, enjoy the read. I've done like 300 books one day.
Oh, wow.
When I
That's so
first got
good.
them, I don't do it to all of them.
That's beautiful,
There's too many.
personal.
Yeah.
That is good, isn't it? I bet you're very proud of him.
Yeah, I am.
Yeah.
It's really good.
Yeah.
How's the run?
Julianne, thanks a lot. Enjoy the read.
Oh, beautiful. Thanks so much.
That's
We'll go
fine.
up now or
Yes.
wherever it is. Go and have a look at all these
Mining collection.
and I'll do a little video, guys, and
That's
you
all
can
right.
see that in the show notes, madmumzie.com/beers63.
Great.
Cheers.
Well, there you go. I hope you enjoyed our chat as much as we did. Be sure to check out the Background Briefing podcast and also the video of Buck telling me all about his mining collection. They can all be found on the show notes page, madmumzie.com/beers63. I think I've found some new friends in Buck and his wife, and he has invited me to connect with him anytime. Mad Mumzie needs to talk about an issue, and so I've got a feeling he will be back on the podcast. So you can look forward to that. The show notes page for this episode, which by now I'm sure you'll never forget, madmumzie.com/beers63. And that's MUMZIE. Thanks to Julia and the team at Bantax Accounting Group for supporting the podcast. And most of all to you for listening. And please share with your mates. Until next time, stay safe, be real, be special, and have fun, for we only live once. Cheers.
Help me, because I used to ask too many questions. But at the end of the day,
But that's how you learn.
That's how I learn.
Yeah. I'm going to let you guys do your thing.
La la la.
Yes.
So I'm just going to pick up maybe the first minute and then I'll let you
Yep.
begin.
Okay,
But
cool.
I might get a photo of you doing your thing.
Oh, that'd be great. Can you get one on my phone as
I'll
well?
do
Please. Oh, it's all about social media
I
and
know.
stuff
I'll do
these
this one
days.
now.
I
Thank
know.
you.